unbelievable. 79-year-old woman. The perpetrators need to be brought to justice. They're just walking the streets like nothing, without a conscience.
What we're looking for is that magic phone call for somebody to call in and say, hey, this is what I saw, this is whom I saw, and this is the information that I need to give you.
Like most urban areas, Chicago and its surrounding cities have had a number of unsolved crimes that the public may be able to help solve. I'm Lisa Guillen, and this is Crime Stoppers Case Files. The purpose of this program is to shine a light on unsolved cases in an effort to get you, the public, involved. If you know anything about any of the cases you see today, call Cook County Crime Stoppers at 1-800-535-STOP. You can remain anonymous and be eligible for a cash reward. Now, let's get right to work. On January 14, 2009, 79-year-old Crescencia Munoz was found beaten to death in her East Chicago apartment. The case remains unsolved. Here are the facts.
Crescencia has been a big part of our family. She's known my parents for like 50 years. Basically, at every function, we'd always have her over all the time. She was always a loner. She kept to herself. Very, very good personality she had as well. And real soft-spoken, but yet she was just in the background, just watching, observing. But, you know, kept everything in her mind, of course. It's like a little file cabinet, but that's the type of person she was, real soft-spoken, but yet she still had that personality, which was really a great type of character for her. We went to a wedding, and we just said, do you want to go? And she said, yes, of course, let's go. So we take her, and she was one that she would act timid. She didn't want to, she liked the music, you know, the Latin type of music, and she was always reluctant of even going up to her dancing or anything, but she would see myself, my husband, my mom, my dad, and she'd just sit back and just watch and everything. So my husband, he goes, come on, let's go. I know you like that song. So there she was up on the dance floor. She just totally finally just gave in and just had a good time. And it was great. It was great. It was a little push that she needed, but that was one great thing, seeing her just not being just sitting there and just watching and observing, but this time she really had a good time and shared in with the occasion. She wanted to help everybody, had a big heart. She was always doing the bingos, and she would go to the Heritage Hall and always help out with the food service and the soup kitchen, that is. And also worked the Salvation Army. Just basically was that type of person, was always a giving type of caring person to always help out in any which way she could.
On January 14th of 2010, we received a call on a 911 dispatch. The caller is stating that there's a elderly female that hasn't been seen in over a day. She goes to work on a daily basis. She's never missed work for the last 6 years. She works for a bingo in a church located in Hammond. They were very concerned about her not showing up for work. The landlord, he states that the last time he saw Miss Crescencia Munoz was on Wednesday, January 13th, 2010. He states she would come down every morning. He would have her breakfast in the bottom of the stairwell, oatmeal, coffee. She would come down and get it. On January 13th, he said that he left around 9:30 that morning. And when he came back at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, he found the oatmeal and the coffee still on the stairwell where he left it. He found it kind of odd because she was always prompt. Her routine was on a regular basis. When the police arrived to the apartment of Miss Crescencia Munoz, who's 79 years of age, they knock on the door. There's no answer at the door. When they turn the knob, the door opens. They find Miss Crescencia Munoz lying on the ground. It appeared to be she was beaten to death. There was no forced entries. It appeared that her attacker, whoever it may be, knew Miss Munoz, and immediately began to attack her for whatever reason. We don't know. When the officers entered the house, the dog was laying right next to her. She suffered a large amount of fractures throughout the face, throughout the body, throughout the head. Basically, the apartment was just covered in blood. I don't know how to explain it. It's just, the crime scene was just unbelievable.
October is Crime Prevention Awareness Month. According to the FBI, 6,000 homes are burglarized every day, with thieves stealing cash, jewelry, and electronics worth $1.6 million. Is your family protected? You can make a decision right now to defend your home. Protect America makes it easier than ever to secure your family with a GE Home Security System. Visit protectamerica.com or call 888-951-5150.
Hover round takes me where I want to go. Where will it send me?
One call to Hoveround and you'll be singing too. Pick up the phone and call Hoveround, the premier power chair. Hoveround makes it easier for you than any other power chair. Hoveround is more maneuverable to get you through the tightest doors and hallways. More reliable. Hoveround employees build your chair, deliver your chair, and will service your chair for as long as you own your chair. And most importantly, 9 out of 10 people got their Hoveround for little or no cost. Call now for your free DVD and information kit.
You don't really have to give up living because you don't have your legs. Hoveround replaced the legs.
And now, every Hoveround comes with this handy tote bag and cup holder for access to your favorite items. And right now, get this limited edition Hoveround America travel mug, free with your Hoveround delivery.
Hoveround takes me where I want to go.
Call now to find out where a Hoveround can take you. Call 800-371-8002. That's 800-371-8002.
On January 14, 2013, when the police arrived to the apartment of Miss Crescenia Munoz, it appeared to be she was beaten to death. We traced her footsteps. We went back to see if we can find any type of video. We looked for receipts to see if maybe she went to the neighborhood stores. We're looking for times, dates, anything that would show us on video what was the actual reason that this all happened. And as we're going through the apartment, we noticed that there was a receipt book out. The receipt book was written out to a female friend. And after questioning this female friend, she says that she owed her some money and she was there to pay her some money. The last time we were able to see video footage of her was at her neighborhood bank, which was a couple blocks away from her house. It shows her coming into the bank. It was January 12th of 2010. It was approximately 3 o'clock in the afternoon. That was the last time we were able to really show that she was alive. Then, as the woman that owed her the money went to the same bank, and we followed her footsteps to see if maybe, she had something to do with this. But it showed that she did go into the bank, as she stated, around 10:30 that morning, and said that after leaving the bank, she called the victim, and they exchanged the money. She gave her the receipt. After that, she never saw Ms. Munoz again. We believe that Ms. Munoz was found on the 14th, but she was actually murdered on the 13th, because after speaking with a lot of family and friends, no one saw her between the time of 10 o'clock in the morning and 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
I got a alarming call from my mom. She mentioned that Crescencia had died, that she just got a call from the police department. So the following day I spoke to the detective, and he did mention, what really happened was she was murdered. Since you're gonna find out through the newspapers, then it's better you find out now. So we ended up going to the police department. All the details were just given to us, and it was just overwhelming on what had transpired that particular day. Can't even imagine the type of pain she could endure going through all that turmoil, that heinous crime that somebody can commit towards her like that.
After canvassing the neighborhood, we questioned everybody that we could. We knocked on doors. No one had any information. No one could tell us that she had any enemies or she had any friends. And as of today, we have no suspects in custody. The case has just gone completely cold. I've done a lot of homicides, and this one's kind of, it could have been anybody's grandmother.
It's just unbelievable. 79-year-old woman. I've happily met to her. Nobody deserves to die like that. That was just intentional.
If anyone has any information out there, we're asking that you contact myself, Detective Velez, or Detective Clarence Anderson. The number is 219-391-8400. We're asking for anything that you may remember that day, anything that you may have seen. You can contact Crime Stoppers and remain anonymous. And we're just asking for any type of help, information that you can give us.
Who could beat a 79-year-old woman to death? Are these the types of monsters who should be roaming our streets? We need to solve this case, but that's not going to happen without your help. If you know anything that could help detectives catch the killers of Crescencia Munoz, call Crime Stoppers right now. You'll remain anonymous and be eligible for a cash reward. On July 13, 2001, 34-year-old Daniel Aviles and his brother were driving in East Chicago when suddenly they were shot at from another vehicle. The attack left Daniel, a father of 4, dead. Here's the story.
Growing up, I had the cool dad. Everyone wanted my dad, even though he was really intimidating because he was 6'3". He was fun. Since he raised his siblings, he was pretty excited to have me. So people like to say I was spoiled.
He was just really cool, laid back, wasn't mean or demanding.
He was a genuine person. Looking at him, you wouldn't know it. Bigger, 200 pounds, 6'3". The image of him, his height and everything, you would think that he was a tough guy, could handle things. No, he was not a handyman. His main thing was basketball.
He was into basketball, always has been. He's tall for it, so I guess it worked in his favor, and he was good.
I joined basketball because of him. I sucked at it, but I did it because that was his passion, so I tried to be the best.
All summers, we would be at the beach or at the zoo. That's all we did. It's with his family, kids, and he's like a big kid, so it was great. You know, we always had a good time.
He was very much into going to the zoo and to the beach with me and my sisters and brother.
We did have one together. He had a daughter. I had 2 when I met him, and then we had one together. And he took my 2 as if they were his own. They called him Dad. That's just the type of person he was.
When my dad married my stepmom, I was already 10, and I was an only child until then. And when he brought them, it was like the greatest gift ever, because I've always wanted brothers and sisters. He was just that dad that was always trying to be there to do whatever he could for us, for me.
Very sensitive, caring. So it was easy to fall in love. It's very easy. You don't realize the effect one person in your life has. You just don't realize it until it's too late.
Daniel Aviles was leaving his house the night of July 13th by himself. He got in his vehicle and was driving out of the area, the south side of East Chicago, and he seen his brother, Samuel Aviles, walking down the street. So he decides, he stops, asks his brother where he's going. He says, "You want to ride?" So Samuel Aviles gets in the car with him. They head westbound on 149th from Indianapolis Boulevard in East Chicago. The vehicle comes up to the stop sign at 149th, and Magoon and a older model Chevy Blazer, two-door, comes the opposite direction of them and flashes their bright lights at them. So Daniel Aviles says to himself, "I've got my lights on. I don't know why they're flashing the brights at me." Says that to his brother. So they continue on. So they go up a couple more blocks and they turn north into the 4000 block of Weg. They proceed northbound. It's a one-way going north. The Blazer had turned off on a previous street. So they get all the way up to the corner of 148th and Weg, and here comes the same Blazer. It turns down the one-way street at them at the stop sign, and upon doing so, somebody from the driver's side of the Blazer fired approximately 7 shots at the vehicle.
It was about 10:30 at night, and he left to go pick up his brother, and he was gone probably only 45 minutes. And his sister called, and I just answered the phone, and she just said, "Danny got shot."
October is Crime Prevention Awareness Month. According to the FBI, 6,000 homes are burglarized every day, with thieves stealing cash, jewelry, and electronics worth $1.6 million. Is your family protected? You can make a decision right now to defend your home. Protect America makes it easier than ever to secure your family with a GE home security system. Visit protectamerica.com or call 888-951-5150.
Hover-round takes me where I want to go. Where will it send me?
One call to Hover-Round and you'll be singing too. Pick up the phone and call Hover-Round, the premier power chair. Hover-Round makes it easier for you than any other power chair. Hover-Round is more maneuverable to get you through the tightest doors and hallways. More reliable. Hover-Round employees build your chair, deliver your chair, and will service your chair for as long as you own your chair. And most importantly, 9 out of 10 people got their Hover-Round for little or no cost. Call now for your free DVD and information kit.
You don't really have to give up living. Of course, you don't have your legs. Hover-Round replaced the legs.
And now, every Hover-Round comes with this handy tote bag and cup holder for access to your favorite items. And right now, get this limited edition Hover-Round America travel mug, free with your Hover-Round delivery.
Hover-Round takes me where I want to go.
Call now to find out where a Hover-Round can take you. Call 800-371-8002. That's 800-371-8002.
On July 13th, 2001, the victim, Danny Aviles, was murdered in East Chicago. He was giving a ride to his brother when a Chevy Blazer at the corner of 148th and Weg turned down the street the wrong way, and upon doing so, fired approximately 7 shots from the driver's side of the Chevy Blazer. One round went through the door, struck the victim, Daniel Aviles, in the side. Daniel Aviles attempted to drive to the hospital, St. Catherine's in East Chicago. He made it approximately halfway there, and he said he didn't think he was going to make it, so they changed drivers. So his brother finished driving the rest of the way to the hospital. They made it to the hospital. Daniel Aviles made it into surgery, made it out of surgery, and he succumbed to his wounds the next day.
My mom came home early from work, so I knew something was really wrong because she came home with my stepmom. And I immediately just said, "Where's my dad?"
He came out of surgery. They told us he had, that the next 14 days would be critical.
I got a chance to talk to him, but he had just got out of surgery, so he couldn't speak back to me. And I remember just telling him that I loved him and just to hold on.
In my last moment with him, I was actually in there seeing him. He tried to tell me something. He tried so hard to tell me something. To this day, it kills me not to know what he was wanting to say.
To this day, it's just unbelievable.
I knew that none of our lives would be the same after that.
At such a young age, for their dad to be taken from them, it changed their life. And no kid should have to grow up without their dad.
I was only 13, so I had to do everything without him. graduate high school, graduate college.
I think the hardest thing is the occasions that we know he missed.
He was always there. You could always call him to make you laugh. And summers ain't the same no more. We don't go to the beach like we used to, or to the zoo, because when you're there, you think of him.
Whoever did this gets to wake up every day and see their kids if they have kids, or be with their mother, or be with their family, and they get to have Christmas and they get to have Thanksgiving.
For something to happen to someone who doesn't deserve it, it's sad.
We believe there were several people in the area on the street that night or on that block that had witnessed this Blazer drive down. We believe there's people that know who the driver of this vehicle was or who the vehicle belonged to. Several people in the area stated they thought they knew the driver of this vehicle, but we believe that the victim was shot by mistaken identity.
They could say mistaken identity and they could say whatever they want, but you should still come forward. You should man up to what you did.
Nobody should go and walk around as if it didn't happen.
At the time, there was a significant gang ruling that street in that area of town, and we believe a lot of these people were afraid to speak because of gang retaliation. They figured if they say something, their house is going to get shot up or their house is going to get firebombed.
I completely understand why they wouldn't want to come forward, but it's going to happen again. If somebody gets away with it the first time, I promise they're going to do it again. And I wouldn't wish this on anybody.
That gang no longer exists, or a lot of subjects have been indicted federally. So we believe that if somebody wants to come forward on this, that this would be a great opportunity for people to speak on this.
So if anybody does know anything, they have to come forward to prevent this from happening to another family.
If you have any information on this shooting, you can contact myself, Detective David Meinhardt, at the Chicago Police Department at 391-8447, or you can contact Crime Stoppers, and all information will remain anonymous. The vehicle in question on this homicide is a older model Chevy Blazer, we believe two-door. We believe the vehicle was occupied by 4 male Hispanics. The vehicle was last seen traveling southbound